Hello, good morning everyone. Happy Monday. So, English learning target to plan a sequel for Little Shop of Horrors. Now, first of all, let's discuss what that word sequel means. Some of you guys might have heard of this before. Basically, a sequel is a story that carries on or follows on from a previous story. So if you check out the picture that we've got on the screen right now, you can see Return of Jafar, Lion King 2, and The Little Mermaid 2. So all of these movies are sequels. They carry on from after the previous story. So The Return of Jafar is a sequel to Aladdin. Lion King 2 is a sequel to The Lion King. Little Mermaid 2 is a sequel to The Little Mermaid. They probably should have come up with some better names, I guess, for these movies. They're a little bit boring, aren't they? But basically, a sequel is a story that continues after an original piece of work. So, what I've done here is I've just Googled around actually, and I found some interesting ways to make your sequels really, really good. So have a read of the 7 different things you're looking for down there. These are success criteria for your sequel. I'll just read them through quickly for you. So number 1, don't just pick up where the story left off. Have a think, what else could have happened since? All right? Be creative with this one. Again, just think about other possibilities. Number 2, give the reader something new. So don't do the obvious. Again, be creative. Number 3, make the stakes different. So the stakes basically are what the main character or one of the main characters is after. What's their mission? What's their motive? Audrey 2's stakes was to take over the world. But maybe in the sequel it might be a little bit different. Maybe they want something else. Play with the expectations, number 4. So this means is, again, we're trying to challenge the people writing, you guys, to maybe not do things the same as we've done before. So we expect Seymour to be nice. We expect Audrey to be kind. We expect Audrey 2 to be horrid. Must they be? Maybe you can just play around with the characters this time and pretend they are worse or better than they had been previously. Try to include at least one great new character. Now, again, what we're not looking for is for characters to come back from the dead. No, thank you very much. Again, be creative. Pick a new character. Just the one, because the more characters you have, the more you've got to write about them, the less quality they're going to be. It could be a bad character or it could be a good character. Whatever is fine. Just make sure they're strong. Number 6, don't be afraid to let the beloved characters go. Now, a good example of this actually from recent times is in the movie of Harry Potter when, Dumbledore, sadly passed away. Sorry if you guys are reading the Half-Blood Prince right now. I guess I've spoiled it for you, sorry. But don't be afraid of letting the beloved characters go because it really can, make maybe even more creative and give more opportunities for other characters to come and replace them. Finally, identify what made the first book special, then offer more. So whatever you feel the Little Shop of Horrors had that was really good in the first instance, use more of it. Was it really horrible? Was it dramatic? Did you like the fact that there was lots of lights and it took place in a dark, dingy, kind of scary location? Offer more of that if that's good for you. So these are the 7 different criterion here for successes for sequels. So once you've had a bit of a think about that, have a read through of this slide here. So these are just suggestions and basically overviews of what possibilities you could have for your sequel to Little Shop of Horrors. So maybe Audrey 2's mum comes to Earth and she wants her son back. Maybe Seymour is not dead and Audrey 2 spits out her body. He's alive, but he's different somehow. Maybe Seymour's got a twin brother. He's tough and he wants revenge on Audrey 2. Audrey 2 starts to take over the planet. He attacks the US Army and comes face to face with the president. It'd be very easy at this point to have the president to be Donald Trump. Try and avoid that if I were you, okay? Be a bit more creative around that. Finally, maybe Seymour manages to kill the main Audrey 2 before he dies. Only a sapling remains, which gets tossed into the garbage. Then it remains until perfect conditions for it to grow occur 10 years later. All right, so maybe at the end of Little Shop of Horrors this time, perhaps Seymour climbs into the mouth, chops away, kills Audrey 2, and there's only a little bit left. And then that little sapling, which we've learned about, of course, over the last couple of weeks, then turns into something a little bit larger. These, again, are suggestions, they're possibilities for sorts of opportunities for you to write a sequel for Little Shop of Horrors. Again, be aware of what a play script needs to look like on that slide there. You might want to pause this and just go back over how you are going to produce your work. Now, typically, you have 3 ways of completing this activity today. Pay careful attention to this one to make sure you know what it is that's expected of you. So learning target to plan a sequel for Little Shop of Horrors. All right, this week, just for the 2 sessions that we've had this week, you're going to be thinking about what you want your sequel to be, to create a sort of synopsis for it, an overview. Next week, you're going to write it in more detail, and the final week, you're going to perform it. So level 1, use the success criteria for a sequel, which is this here, to create a storyboard to show your new production. You know storyboards, you've done these loads and loads now. Be sure to add comments in each slide to explain what's going on. As I say, you've done this before. Level 2, you do the storyboard plus, creating a script for the first scene of the play in the correct format. You can click on the link there to see the Little Shop of Horrors full script, to remember what it looks like. Present just the first scene. This is looking for quality now, as opposed to quantity. Present it, please, as you've been taught to present it, and write a brief introduction to the first scene. That's level 2. Level 3, who out there can challenge themselves a little bit further, I wonder. You need to write a full paragraph as well as doing level 1 and level 2. That's about 6 to 8 lines to describe your great new character. Now remember, a great new character was one of the criterion here for number 5 there, for what makes a really, really good sequel. Okay, so you need to choose today what level of effort, what level of opportunity you are going to do to tackle this particular task. The more you do now, the more you think of it now, the more you develop it now, the better, and I think easier this will be on you next week when you start to add more flesh and bones to your play, to your sequel, to the Little Shop of Horrors. Best of luck, boys and girls. See you soon.